Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac. I gotta give you some... disclosure doesn't really make sense here, but let's just queue up. We'll play as Isaac. And you might notice that things are a little bit different here. You might notice that maybe I sound a little bit different. I did not buy a new microphone. I am actually just using Kate's setup right now because she's a little bit under the weather. And she is sleeping in what is traditionally my quote-unquote office. So I might sound a little bit different. I checked the audio. Honestly, I thought maybe I even sounded a little bit better. But there are some things to keep in mind. Oh my god. Okay, so this is not spider mod. I'm just going to, like, options here. Yeah, detail. We can probably put that on high. This machine has, like, a, 8-core processor. It's pretty much brand new, so this should be good to go. Honestly, yeah, I listened to the audio, and I thought maybe I even sounded a little bit better, which is sweet. But, the fact that I am not playing on spider mod means there are some potential issues. This is also... It's my save from The Binding of Isaac, but it's an older save. It's a save from, like, maybe December... it's probably, like, April 2013? Or maybe it's 2000... I think it was April 2013. Anyway, what this means is that, everything should be the same, because I already had Platinum God and all the challenges and all the achievements and stuff by that point, but I'm not totally sure if that's indeed how it's going to work out, although I certainly hope that it is, because I would love for this to just be a normal Isaac run. I'm also playing on a different keyboard. This is a novelty keyboard, with a bunch of, like, Dragon Quest kind of raised up slimes on the keys. It's a little weird, and I hope that it won't be that hard to get used to. But anyway, you might be complaining, oh, you're not supposed to be Isaac this run. Why are you playing so badly? You sound slightly different. Hey, man. My wife has a kidney infection, dog. What do you want me to do? You happy wife, happy life, or healthy wife, happy life. There's all sorts of different kind of things you could say about that. You know what? I think I bunged this up something fierce, didn't I? How am I supposed to get through this without causing myself significant woes? I think I can do, like... You know what? I'm gonna let myself take damage from this bomb. And I did it so that I could get that Spirit Heart. I should have placed that bomb down in a different way, but that's fine. And this way, by getting that Spirit Heart, I am going to be absolutely, totally 100% fine, is the presumption. I can get that Spirit Heart for the next floor, should be able to get enough HP to get back to full health. But even if I don't, it's not like I'm going to die on the next floor in all likelihood, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Also feeling pretty good about the fact that we got Common Cold, which I would consider to be... like a B or an A tier upgrade, Also means that on Deals with the Devil, we are, well, we're gonna be stuck with that. But on Deals with the Devil, we're gonna have one less item in the pool. Which is fine. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to call it a great thing right off the bat, but it's totally A-okay, as far as I'm concerned. I gotta say, I'm actually liking how this mic picks up my, my volume. I've been thinking about updating my audio setup. Yeah, I think I sound fine, but there are some times, especially... I've been using that mic. That mic was like... The mic that I'm using in 99.99% of my recent videos is, it was a major purchase for me. It was when, like, I had basically just come back from Korea and I was starting my Dark Souls Let's Play, and I was like, well, you know what? If I'm gonna do, like, this seriously, I should have a better microphone. So I invested what, at the time, was, like, a huge amount of my, savings into that, not a huge amount, but a large amount of my savings into that microphone. It ended up paying off, which is nice, but it's worked since then, and occasionally you get complimented on it and it feels good, so I'm hesitant to upgrade, because in audio, it is an exact science, but I'm not exactly a scientist, is what I should say there. So I worry, like every time you move, you're like, oh, please sound okay, and then all of a sudden it sounds like you're in like a hollowed out, nuclear fallout shelter or something. You're like, well, guess we're gonna have to move, or, set up some absorbent foam or something, like it's Hustle and Flow. But anyway, that's my long story there. But yeah, I've been thinking about upgrading my audio setup, even though I sound acceptable to my own taste. Might not be the worst thing in the world, especially as Rebirth comes out and you get ready to do, like, another 1,500 episodes of The Binding of Isaac, maybe. Alright, so we're gonna get a deal with the devil here. We're also going to get Pageant Boy, which I'm totally going to take. Usually I prefer, well, I mean, obviously, you prefer to get a nickel out of it, but whatever, you can't always get what you want. I'm happy with the pact, I'm content with it, and I'm not going to do any shenanigans here with Book of Belial, because we've just got a little bit too much at stake here when it comes to our HP surviving, and also this, limited amount of rerolls we've got here. So let's drop this down here. This gives us the ladder, which is bad, which we reroll into notched axe, which is substantially worse. We did get a free spirit heart, though. That's super unlikely. It's not the kind of thing that never happens, but it happens very, very rarely. So I'm happy for it. Looks like, if I had to guess, we probably will not be getting a reroll on this floor, which means we're not going to be able to get anything from the shop. It's a big disappointment, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to pick up something from our fortune teller here. I'm going to go down to 15 cents just in case we actually do manage to get another reroll. We have a blood bank. At least I can get some money back from that. Alright, so obviously this tinted rock is a big part of my plan, but I don't have any bombs. That worked out fine. No keys. The one time I want keys instead of spirit hearts, they give me spirit hearts. Every other time I always want spirit hearts and they give me keys. That's alright. Locks everywhere and not a drop to drink. There's still flies available here. I'm not sure if you noticed that game. That was kind of a weird spawn there. Mob trap rooms on Cellar 2 do get a little... Well, Cellar 1 and 2 do get a little funky sometimes. That's okay. We'll be looking to get the speed and HP upgrade here, but I doubt it'll happen. We're not going to have that many plays for it, and we don't have very much HP capacity to begin with. But we may get this reroll. My assumption... Ooh, that's very good. My assumption is that we'll probably end up getting a self-sacrifice room over here. And if it is a self-sacrifice room, we're not going to get another reroll. But we pop that moon card. That gives us raw liver, which is unbelievably good. That's actually an incredible pickup for us. It's an incredible pickup almost any time. But especially right now, that's incredibly good fortune. To be able to get the Spelunker's hat is nice as well. This is a secret room I'm very glad I went to. We were able to go to the item room without actually having to expend a key, which is useful because we don't have a key to expend. So we're going to try to get to our second secret room, which is obviously going to be here. I mean, the process of elimination narrowed that one down pretty quick. And it's Maggie's Faith, which is an unbelievably good trinket. And in spite, or yeah, despite our shop not necessarily working out for us, we got fantastic luck here in pretty much all other respects. Good trinket, great items, HP is still fine, money's gonna be completely sorted. We got the Pact. We'll see what this pill does because we can afford to. Yeah, even if it's bad, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna go down as low as 15 cents just to see if we can win some keys, because you never know if you can, you know, if you can get them now, better than having to wait till the next floor, right, to try to scrounge your way for keys. But at 15 cents, that is where we will stop, so that we do still have enough money for the next floor. Although, you know what? We can go down to 10 cents. That's where I'm going to draw the line there. Why 10 cents? Well, it's below 15, obviously, but it's also, you know, not so bad because we have the Spelunker's hat, which should be able to find the secret room for us. And finding the secret room means that we'll probably gain, you know, an average of maybe 5 cents is what I'm thinking. But we don't have any keys to begin with, so it doesn't matter that much for right now. That is a disappointing turn of events there. Before we leave, I am going to get all of our HP. Yes. Was there a key for sale? I didn't think so. No, there's a spirit heart, which I don't think is worth buying when we already have so many, and our survival doesn't depend on it. Even as good as spirit hearts are, I don't think that's that worthwhile. I could use a bomb and, like, get to that, but I don't think it's that worthwhile either. Right now, it's mostly just about counting our blessings, and we've been very blessed so far. I'm feeling pretty solid about this run, despite the fact that I'm in kind of unusual circumstances here. That's not how we pronounce that word here in Canada, but I'm paranoid about it. Ever since, you know, in the Gauntlet series, Dan made fun of me for the way I say resource. I know, we say resource here. Well, congratulations, we say resource here, you know? There's a bit of a French influence in Canada, of course. We still respect them, even though they, you know, you don't respect them even though they helped you win your American Revolution. I'm speaking to my, you know, 20% American viewers here. I'm not anti-American by any stretch of the imagination. I'm more like I want to help bolster the respect for the French people. You know, I feel like people that are, you know, my age, within one generation of my age. So let's say like 15 to 45. They have this reputation or stereotype of French as, like, you know, like they said on The Simpsons, you know, cheese-eating surrender monkeys, right? No way, man. Oh, if you search for great French military victories on Google, it defaults to great French military defeats. You realize this is like one of the strongest European countries in history, right? If you click and drag history back past, like, the First World War, even into the First World War, we're gonna go down to the next floor, by the way, there's a staggering amount of incredible French military triumphs, but now there's this reputation that, you know, I guess because of the Second World War, they just kind of roll over whenever there's a conflict. It's very much not historically the case at all. And then, you know, the French, they get a bad rap. I've never been to France, I don't know if they're, you know, perhaps, you know, the reputations that they have for some other stereotypes are deserved. I just prefer to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I always hate seeing people. Let's just take this pill. Ooh, okay. I have no French ancestry in, like, recent history, by the way. You might assume that based on my name, but, you know, people, when I fly in Canada, sometimes they'll look at my boarding pass and I'll, bonjour, monsieur le tonneau. And I'm like, sorry. I mean, I know what that means, but if I tried to reply to you, you would think I'm an idiot. So I have no, like, selfish desire to defend the French people, more just, like, you know, kind of trying to dispel some ignorance here. Anyway, I don't even know where that rant came from. I'm feeling particularly Canadian, I guess, because it is the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend here. In fact, the day that this episode goes up will be technically Canadian Thanksgiving, which is the Monday. Yes, we have Thanksgiving in Canada. It's not exclusively an American thing. Where in the United States, I believe that Thanksgiving was historically celebrated, or is believed to be historically celebrated as a, you know, a peace kind of meal, peace offering between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. In Canada, it is, it has its basis in, you know, explorers coming here in, like, the 17th century, and then being like, holy shit, we crossed the Atlantic and landed and we're not dead, which I think is a pretty good cause for celebration, if you ask me. I'm not trying to say one Thanksgiving is worth more than the other, I'm just saying, you know, I can relate to that. Oh, I already went to the secret room, that was dumb. Got off on my own tangent here, that's okay. Especially because I believe that, if I remember correctly from Wikipediaing it this morning, that it was Martin Frobisher in, like, the early 17th century, so the early 1600s. Dude landed, like, near Baffin Island, and if you're not familiar with Canadian geography, which I would not expect you to be, unless you are Canadian, even if you are Canadian, you know, it's not like anyone's taken any vacations up to Baffin Island, because, here's where it ties in, Baffin Island is, like, the straight-up Arctic, basically. It's this huge island in the north of Canada, you know, despite Canada being the second largest country by surface area in the world after Russia. It is largely, I wouldn't necessarily say uninhabitable, but uninhabited. But anyway, the long story of it is, you know, Martin Frobisher lands at Baffin Island and is like, shit, dude, we just basically crossed through the Arctic and we're not dead. Let's celebrate communion. And that's, you know, I don't know if communion is necessarily a celebration of thanks, but there it is. So kind of similar, but a little bit different as well. Anyway, back to the Binding of Isaac. What do we do on Canadian Thanksgiving? Alright, I guess we're not back to the Binding of Isaac. We freaking, you know, the same thing you do on American Thanksgiving. Everybody comes over, you know, your uncle gets drunk, and you eat turkey and stuffing. And, I don't know if we have any... The one Canadianism we might have for Canadian Thanksgiving, do you guys drink, like... You know, there's Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's one of our most prized exports, if I do say so myself. But, we mix that with, like, cranberry juice, and you get, like, a cranberry, kind of like a cranberry soda, basically. It's delicious. I haven't had it in years, but it is a common kind of thing down here. I don't know if you have it in the United States, but if you do, I would encourage you to check it out. It's pretty good. Apart from that, you know, it's one of the 3 designated days on an annual basis in which you eat turkey, and you know, ooh, we should eat turkey more often, and then you just don't. Because turkey is one of those meats that's got a really high upside, a really moist, delicious turkey. Sorry for those people who don't like the word moist, by the way, but a moist, delicious turkey, really, just, it's kind of, like, comforting and filling, and, you know, it tastes like family. But oftentimes, you know, the turkey, you gotta cook it for 100 years in order to get it all the way cooked. Right? It's a big bird. Oftentimes it ends up being dry, and I think that gives turkey a bad rap, but it's kind of like pork. I see a lot of people that are like, oh, you know, I don't really like pork. Well, pork's delicious. You probably, you know, there's also lots of different kinds of pork, but you probably have just had it cooked too much. I find pork dry. Well, it's not the pork that's dry. It's, you know, the cooking methods that make it dry and the time, anyway. A bad turkey is bad. You know, you'd rather just be eating chicken or beef or something like that, but a good turkey, man, feels good once or twice a year to have a good turkey. By the way, is there any food more modestly named than the utility turkey? I don't think this is a regional thing, but recently, as I've been grocery shopping, as it's getting to the Thanksgiving, you know, region down here, I've been seeing a lot of utility turkey. Utility turkey, half off. What the hell is a utility turkey, and what makes it different from a quote-unquote... Oh, that's sweet. We're not going to take that either. We'll use our reroll on probably the shop instead, even though the coin purse could be good. Yeah, what's a utility turkey? What makes it different from a regular turkey? But also, Kuda, it didn't name itself Superstar Turkey or something like that. It probably didn't name itself at all. That's what I was looking for right there. But yeah, utility turkey, it's a great name. Very modest, if I do say so myself. We're going to pick up our speed upgrade here. Anyway, that's my rant on Canadian Thanksgiving, I suppose. It's, you know, it's nice. I don't have a horse in this race, basically, because I don't work at an office or anything that actually gets the day off. You know, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and here I am recording, and I wouldn't have it any other way, by the way. Well, you know, it'd be nice to see my family, I guess, but you know, if I'm not gonna be flying back across the country to see my family, then I'll spend it, you know, rambling at the other family that listens to me, my quote-unquote YouTube family, or YouTube quote-unquote family. Yes, we're gonna leave now. But I've totally forgot what I was saying a second. What was I saying a second ago? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't really have a horse in the race. You know, do I prefer Canadian or American Thanksgiving? You know, different strokes for different folks. But I will say, I like that Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, because it gives you kind of a little bit of a break between Christmas and... Oh, careful. Like, if you celebrate Christmas, you know, which we do, even though I'm not religious. It's just kind of like a... You know, we celebrate secular Christmas. Anyway, which is the love of giving and receiving gifts and eating turkey again, I suppose. But anyway, we have a little bit of a... Like, we go back to school in September, let's say, if you're of the school age. I'm gonna fight this mini-boss for sure. And then... You know, you go to school for like a month, and then you get a nice 3 or 4 day weekend thanks to Thanksgiving. And then you go back to school for like another 6 weeks, and then you get a vacation for Christmas. Isn't it like, once November hits at American schools and perhaps workplaces, you're just like, you're off? I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but it does kind of like keep everything... Ooh, careful. You know, like it's all bunched up. Wouldn't you rather have it spread out? Maybe, maybe not. I know that Thanksgiving is a bit more of a big deal in the US as well. In spite of all the pride that I've given it here. We're gonna reroll Shoop to Whoop. Blood Rights is straight up trash, so we'll be coming back for that later. But yeah, you know, I like it for that reason. And it gives you a little bit of a break because, you know, as I've gotten older, the holidays, they become a much bigger deal. Magician, I'm just gonna use it because it's not very good. They become a much bigger deal. When you're a kid, you're like, ooh, Thanksgiving, ooh, Christmas, you know, ooh, my birthday, ooh, Easter, that's great. But when you're getting a little older, and it's I assume that it's gotta be worse for people who have kids. And by worse, I mean much more fulfilling on a deep, you know, genetic and kind of like evolutionary level. But anyway, you gotta like buy things for people, and it's a financial stress, and it's also, you know, an existential stress. Ooh, what if I get the wrong thing for this person? They're gonna think that I don't know who they are, when actually, you know, I do love them, and yada yada. And then you got the whole Thanksgiving thing is, oh, if I cook the turkey bad, then, you know, my mother-in-law is gonna think I'm not a good son or daughter-in-law, etc., etc. It's all sorts of pressure. And then you, oh, Thanksgiving's over, and then it's freaking Christmas, and you got the same whole thing going again. And then, you know, God help you if you've also got to handle Valentine's Day, which of course, you know, I do, ladies. But then, you know, if you have like a couple of family members' birthdays in like July and February, it's just October to February is like you're stressed out because of the holiday season. And it's a good kind of stress because you get to see your loved ones, but it's also like, holy crap, I want to go back to work. That sounds terrible, but it's to some extent a little bit true. You know, and especially, you know, I feel it for my loved ones as well, because my birthday is in November, which means that, you know, it's like Thanksgiving, my birthday, Christmas, January, which, you know, I don't consider New Year's a holiday that's that stressful, I guess, unless you're, you know, you think the world's gonna end on January 1st or something like that, but I think 2015 is pretty much free of those kind of implications this year for most people. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, it's a nightmare, but it's kind of like a nice domestic nightmare, which is okay. Are we really just not going to get any keys here? I'm extremely tempted to throw away my Eternal Heart to gamble on the Blood Bank, but what is going to make... because we have the the nuns have it, right? It seems like that would be a good payout. What would make it a no-brainer for me... I'm glad we're taking portable slot out of the rotation, by the way. It makes our shop a little bit better proportionally, but what would make it a no-brainer is if we have another arcade, which is conceivable, and is still conceivable. We'll get that on our way out here. And is now no longer conceivable, so now I have to make a decision. So I think the way that I'm going to choose to handle this is going to be a little bit weird and a little bit anti-Northernlion, which is going to make some people happy, I think, actually. We're going to take portable slot. I'm going to go to our curse room quickly. And that was well worth it. We're going to get portable slot, and we're going to gamble with it, and we're going to try to earn keys. Be extremely careful here, unless this is bombs or key. Which it isn't, but at least it was okay. And by getting keys, we can at least go to our item room. Then we can choose to see if we need money to go to our shop. But for now, we're in a bit of a weirdy spot here. This is, like, this run has been fantastic thus far, don't get me wrong. This strikes me as kind of a very important moment for us. I'm actually thankful to have that speed upgrade, believe it or not. Like, our HP is good, and our damage is great, which is above where you would expect to be, probably, by this point in the game. Just give me a key, seriously. Okay, I mean, that's another speed upgrade, I think. Which at this point is getting a little crazy. If we end up not being able to go to shop, item room, or, well, let's see, this is tiers up. That's great. We're still getting an HP per floor anyway. This is going to be it, isn't it? Oh, live bomb. So that doesn't do anything for us. I think it's still worth doing what I'm going to do. I think we're going to reroll portable slot. Becomes Rainbow Baby, which I don't think is very good. So we're going to sacrifice effectively 1 HP to make this happen. But it's going to allow us to play our slot machine here more and maybe get those keys that I'm interested in. Not to mention, of course, you know, I also want to, if possible, get the speed plus HP upgrade to make up for the one that I'm giving up. But this is to allow me to actually make good use of the rerolls that are left on this floor. So we got super lucky to get a nickel. If we just get oh, no, get out of there. Okay, saved it. If we're lucky enough to get a single key, I can get 15 cents back from the blood bank, probably, and be able to get something from the shop. Or maybe it's greed, in which case that would be fine because we'd get money back for it anyway. But yeah, I would expect this to be kind of a long session here. So we rerolled Rainbow Baby into Ghost Baby. Pretty much objectively worse, but we weren't going to take either of them, so that's okay for now. This coffee is still far too hot. You should put some Canada Dry in it. You'd think that would be a whiskey, but it's not. But we are known for our whiskey in Canada. We got a pretty good whiskey scene up here. Regardless of whether or not it's a holiday weekend, that bears paying attention to. Alright, if one of those could just be Pretty Fly, I would feel a lot better about all the time that we're spending here. I really doubt that giving up that 1 HP... Like, the reason I didn't belabor the choice is because it doesn't really matter. If 1 HP makes the difference on this run, then I've fucked up somewhere deep down the line, and we've got an issue. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Game Kid. Game Kid is bad, but at the same time, we could maybe make things a little bit safer on ourselves by using Game Kid here. Even though it won't give us rerolls, it at least gives us the opportunity to get, well, exactly what I did not want. But we're still invincible, temporarily. Alright, so we picked up like another 6 cents out of that. And I think that's... If we don't get a key here, that's pretty much it. We're gonna have to take our D6, we're not gonna get any familiar. But at least we did get the IV bag, you know, it's meaningful in its own kind of shitty way. We got 1 play left. I really can't believe that we haven't picked up a key out of this. You know what? Just explode it, please. I was gonna blow it up anyway, so I appreciate that. And bombs are key. Range down. You got the pavement lyrics in the wrong order there. Anyway, so that's gonna do it. Don't ever let anybody say that I didn't at least try here. I tried. Like Macy Gray. Try to walk away and I just choke. That doesn't really work. My Macy Gray impression, I didn't lean too much into it because you know what, I'm gonna get some money before we leave because we have spirit hearts. But anyway, it's surprisingly similar to my Shaggy impression, and you know, if you want to twist that as being a racist thing, well, you're just looking to get offended in ways that, you know, I clearly do not mean. But they both kind of got that, I don't know if they're from the same area, in which case maybe I'm just being ignorant, but is Macy Gray the female Shaggy? I think is what I'm trying to get across here. At least we're back up to 15 cents. Oh, yeah, so we're playing the Steam version, which means that we can get nightmares like this. That glitch for a second that kind of slowed up the game. Anyway, we have 24 cents. And we're on Necropolis. This is Hanged Man, as far as I'm concerned. We're not going to be able to get a deal with the devil on this floor unless we get excruciatingly lucky. And I say excruciatingly lucky because it is going to be excruciating to try to not take damage on this floor. It's also a floor where we need a lot of keys. At least 3. There's 1. That helps out. That's bad damage, but it's alright. We do have a lot of spirit hearts. That's kind of the nice thing about our position. Just remembered... you know, necessity is the mother of remembering, that I cannot fly as I try to bump into those rocks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Alright. Hopefully we can blow up one of these guys over here and get ourselves free spirit heart. That feels good because I've taken some damage I'm not thrilled with. These range downgrade is pissing me off a little bit. We basically have kind of like a #1 thing going on here. I never realized how much a range downgrade could actually affect me while only getting 1 of them. Like, that's... Normally, you'd at least expect to have to get a couple of range downgrades, which you would never do, unless you were doing some kind of challenge run, or you picked up some range downgrade items that were actually, you know, they gave you something good in return. But anyway, I didn't realize it could affect you that much. There's our second secret room. So I'm going to go to it right now. And the main reason is, if it's, well, let's put it this way. I expect to get an arcade on this floor. It's freaking huge, and we came down with more than 5 cents. It would be sweet if this was an Eternal Heart. It wasn't. It would have been sweet, though, but that's okay. Alright, so there's like 1 quadrant. Well, probably a lot less, but there's a little bit of this floor taken care of. And we haven't done too badly yet. Bosses typically are a little bit of a moment of relief for us at this point. On this floor, I should say. But it depends who you go up against. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get pooped on. Plenty of spirit hearts, though. So I'll buy everything in the shop, pretty much. If there is a tarot card, I'm going to take it. I held out a lot of hope there. It barely even registered in my head that we could fight greed here. Normally, I'm super vigilant about stuff like that, but here I was just like, no, the game wouldn't do that to me. The game, by the way, the game's been very kind to me so far, so I like to try to give credit where credit's due there, even though, you know, there's an obvious bias for me, because if the game does one thing good for me, you know, that gets erased in my mind pretty quickly. Oh, I'm so talented. Wow, I'm really good at the Binding of Isaac. But when it does one thing bad to me, I'm like, wow, okay, somebody hates me. Like, it's disproportionately, gets disproportionate amount of attention in your mind, because negative things often do. Anyway. Poison, come on. Do your damage. Thank you. We got bombs back. It's a start. This judgment strikes me as an incredibly useful individual here. HP upgrades. Map. Compass. Work with me, buddy. Bombs. Keys. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. If we find a library, we'll probably visit it, especially if we have an arcade on this floor. This is a very, very pivotal floor. A formative floor for us. And a free HP upgrade is fine by me. Not gonna look that gift horse in the mouth. It's alright, Ruka, don't worry about it. That is a Tears upgrade pill. We're gonna fight our first boss because we can. And this will give us a 2nd level cube of meat. Okay. A little scary there. Still, like, quite frightened, to be honest with you. But we're lucky that we've had so many speed upgrades over the course of this run. Alright. I was gonna say, you would set them up on, like, opposite sides of the map, right? Maybe it's a good thing. I may try to get a bomb to hit that tinted rock, but honestly, if we end up spending 1 bomb to get it, I don't think that's that bad. I would love to get Small Rock Man. Small Rock Man, of course, you know, the Game Boy Advance version of Mega Man. 2nd level cube of meat is something we've desired, and 2 spirit hearts is fine as well. Alrighty then. Wow, I really thought this would connect with that other area. That's okay. This room is just, you know, this room is taxes, man. Taxes will always fuck you. I'm not the kind of person who complains that much about taxes, because you know, recognize the benefit of public service and stuff like, or public services, I should say, and stuff like that. But at the same time, when you have to pay taxes, you know, especially the first couple of years, I think, when you transition from benefiting from taxes to paying taxes, you're like, oh man, like this is money. This is my money right here. I can understand why, you know, when my parents would complain about taxes sometimes, even though again they're pretty much in the same boat where they'd be like, you know, we recognize the value of paying taxes. They just thought it was annoying because they're expensive. But anyway, we would, or I would always think like, oh, that's just like an old person thing. Old people don't understand taxes. You know, that's what pays for important stuff. That's a super good Eternal Heart. Which is true, but at the same time, it's easy to be like pro-high taxation when you're not the one paying the taxes. That being said, you know, I live in a country with universal health care. We were at the hospital a couple of days ago getting this kidney infection looked at, and we basically, I mean, it took a long time because that's what it's one of the things that characterizes the healthcare system here, but it was also totally free except for the prescription medicine that we had to pick up. That's pretty sweet. And that's, you know, taxes in action. I'm not, basically, what I'm saying is, shit, I've gotten myself into a political discussion, backpedal, I love everybody, here we are. Alright, let's keep playing The Binding of Isaac if you don't mind. Whoa, did we find an item room on this floor? That's amazing to me. I thought this floor exclusively consisted of massive infamy. So this is a nice change of pace for me. Great shooting from me there. Chocolate milk will obviously be re-rolled. Now that we've seen chocolate milk, all we need to do is find Abel, and that will be the requisite shitty items that show up on every run that will be taken care of. Still got enough spirit hearts. I'm feeling good about that. We haven't lost enough to make me truly, like, frightened for this run. And we should have a nice base for the next floor to really get that deal with the devil that we desire. We can also play an arcade if one shows up. If one doesn't, I'm going to be a little salty about that because we've had the money for ages, basically, to make it work. By the way, if you're going to start talking shit about taxes one way or the other, and I mean that, one way or the other, in the comments here, you got to realize that if you've got to take your political discussions to YouTube videos about, like, The Binding of Isaac, don't. Like, I so often on YouTube, and, you know, having strong opinions and backing them up, and, you know, learning how to argue, this is all good stuff, but you gotta find the appropriate venue for it. So many times I go into YouTube comments, oftentimes in my own videos, like, prison architect, you know, this is a big one because there's prisons. It's a political issue. I knew Abel would show up. And I understand why people would, you know, get on their soapboxes about it, and that's oftentimes used as kind of a pejorative phrase, but I don't mean it like that, but they'd be like, do you think this game is for-profit prisons or against for-profit prisons? And then the correct answer is, dude, we're not going to talk about that here, because this is not C-SPAN, you know? Like, what I am is, like, a 20-year-old who is going to college for, like, an engineering degree, which is great. Incredible amounts of respect, but not the kind of person that necessarily, I think, needs to be discussing for-profit prisons, and it's YouTube comments as well. It's like the kind of, when you see, like, a dude on the street, and I'm not saying he has to be homeless, I'm just saying when you see a dude on the street, and he's holding up a sign, and the sign says, like, Obama's a Nazi, right? And then it's just, like, a picture of Barack Obama wearing, like, you know, a Wehrmacht uniform or something like that. That guy needs to have the same lesson taught to him. Which is basically, you know, the medium is the message, man. If you can't find anybody else to stand with you on the street and hold this Obama's a Nazi sign, maybe it's time to reconsider your message. Say, if you can't find anyone to argue with about deep philosophical issues, except for, you know, other strangers on the internet in YouTube comments, maybe it's a sign that you join a debate club or something like that, or maybe just leave that up to the experts for now. And I'm not trying to discourage or censor, I know that's a very bad word, I'm not trying to censor conversation or dialogue or discourse or arguing. I'm very glad that we got that HP there. All I'm trying to say is that, you know, you gotta know your audience, right? That's the #1 rule of comedy, apparently. And I think that's the #1 rule of commenting as well, you know? You want to make sure that what you're writing is not just on deaf ears, and oftentimes, you know, if someone's like, you know, they post something like, who was really in the wrong for World War I in like a YouTube comment on, you know, Groove is in the Heart by D-Light or something like that. And you're like, really? Who could possibly want to argue with that? And then people do. Don't do that. Go to like, go to school. If you're so interested in that, you know, read some, you know, academic journals and stuff like that. If you have to get into discussion about stuff like that on YouTube, you're arguing with the wrong people. Your passion for this for this issue is like grossly disproportional to the qualifications of the people you're arguing against. Doesn't make any sense. Allow me to caffeinate here as we get ready to fight Mom. It's been a decent floor. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Range downgrade pill. I would like to replace that with literally anything. Yeah, it's been a good floor. We got 2 HP up. 3 if you count the Eternal Heart that we were able to, you know, complete. Hopefully just regular Mom. Yeah, this is just regular Mom. Poison damage should help out a little bit. I don't anticipate having too much trouble here. But it will be a little bit of an ordeal. This run is very, very winnable. It's not one. I swear to God, the threshold for what is considered a laughably one run keeps going down like every episode. Like, and I notice it when I stream on Twitch and I see like the tone of the comments change. Like or the chat, I should say. It'll start and it'll be like, good luck. And then on the first floor you get like, you know, unicorn horn, and then you re-roll it and it becomes ghost baby, and people are like, okay, that sucks. And then, you know, second floor you get a deal with the devil, and you pick up freaking, you know, the pact, and people are like, oh, GG. Northernlion, they're being sarcastic. Some of them are being sarcastic. A lot of them are not. Trust me. As a, you know, what did you just say to me? I'll have you know I'm a US Twitch seal with over 300 confirmed kappas. I'm down with the Twitchness, okay? I know I can parse to a reasonable degree what of it is sarcasm and what of it isn't, for the most part. And, people seem to think as soon as you get one item, that's just... Guys, it is in Spider Mod. Well, it looks like we're doing a shoal run. What are the odds of that nonsense? Oh, come on, man. Alright. Well, that takes the wind out of my sails a little bit, but people are always complaining about no shoal, so maybe, here you go, we'll have a shoal run. I still don't think this is an automatic win just because we're going to shoal, by the way. This is... You know, I've gotten a newfound respect for shoal since having to go to it in Community Remix. By the way, Community Remix hasn't gone anywhere. Well, I mean, it's not up on the channel, so I guess it has gone somewhere, but in the schedule of my life, it hasn't gone anywhere. I thought that they had taken some time off from weekly updates, because there was like 2 or 3 weeks when they didn't issue updates. I'm not trying to blame this on them either, you know, they're doing this shit for free, and I'm an asshole. But anyway, so I was like, well, I'm not going to play Community Remix if we've already seen most of the stuff that there is to see, and then they issued a huge new update with like a new character and stuff like that. I've just been busy with this whole, you know, well, you know, my other series, and also taking care of my sick wife. Not that, you know, her body's taking care of most of it, and the medicine, but I'll be here to peel oranges as often as is necessary. So, I made an interesting choice there. I think it's interesting, at least. The choice was to re-roll the battery. It's a mildly interesting choice, in my opinion. Just wanted to make sure I was focusing on actually getting out there. It's unlikely to make a big difference either way, but I really think that with the Nun's Habit and the limited amount of reroll opportunities for us in the near future, what does the battery matter? We're gonna be able to get like one more reroll every 3 or 4 rooms or something like that. Like eventually it'll work out and it'll give us one reroll that we wouldn't have had. We'd be like a charge shy of it or something like that. So it's fine, basically. So let me drop some knowledge on you right now. Just because we got the tick doesn't mean we're stuck going to shoal. Oh wait, never mind. It does. In all likelihood, it does anyway. See, sometimes you end up taking the tick, not the tick, sorry, you end up taking a trinket that isn't the Polaroid down. Then you can get out of it, because you can find the Polaroid in various kind of places, second secret rooms, playing fortune tellers, you can just grind them, and occasionally, and I've done it before, get the Polaroid after the Mom fight. The relic is very useful, so we'll take that. It's definitely better than the battery. This is a much more difficult situation, because in order for us to actually take the Polaroid, which we already have, we need to get Mom's purse ideally on this floor, which is pretty unlikely to happen. So I'd say we're pretty much sunk into a shoal run here, which is fine. You know, we'll take the 1-up as well. Now I would start to say maybe we could talk about this as if it's a 1 run. I don't need to save keys for golden chests on the chest anymore, so we can just pick up all this stuff and get the heck out of here. I am hoping we maybe come across a library or something, add a little bit more interest to the end of this run. But, you know, I had a feeling it'd be a bit of a weird run just based on the fact that I'm not even on my own freaking computer right now. And to be honest with you, I have to say it, I'm a little proud of myself for how I played, and it sounds weird. Maybe a little bit, you know, don't pat yourself on your back, you might break your spine. I was trying to save a bomb, so stupid. I'm gonna play this to try to get a spirit heart, so we can still get a deal with the devil on this floor, hopefully. But anyway, I'm on a new keyboard, a different keyboard, which actually, when you've got 800 hours or whatever in Isaac, it makes a difference, man, to be on a different kind of piece of machinery here. It feels wrong. It feels like I'm cheating or something like that. Like, ooh, baby, when I, you know, press the D, it doesn't feel the same. You don't spring back in the same way that I'm used to. Please give me a single spirit. Okay. Disregard my please. And thank yous. That's a bomb. I would like to pick it up. I mean, even if we take damage, I'm pretty sure we're still in a great position. I would very much prefer not to, though. And that was a sweet opportunity to use that death card. Got us a spirit heart. Took us out of a fairly risky room. And we got some items here. And you know what? I would not mind picking up Book of Belial right now. If our boss is up here, we might just take Book of Belial and go, yeah. We might just take Book of Belial and go, yeah. Yeah. I was hoping we'd get another Spirit Heart drop there, and we did. Let's fight our boss first, just see what we got on the deal with the devil. If we get a deal with the devil, which we should. By the way, thank you to the Tick. I hate to say it, but thank you to the Tick for giving us that nice little damage bonus right at the start here. Helps us out a little bit against an enemy who's a known annoyance. And we'll hurt ourselves to use Nun's Habit to get better deals with the devil if we have to. Squeezy, decent drop, in my opinion. 9 lives is not worth it. Makes our luck foot, makes our 1-up substantially worse. We'll reroll both of them. Alright, well that's much more interesting now. I think we'll take both. And this is where things start to get a little funky. I'm not gonna use Guppy's Paw, because we don't have permanent Polaroid. Don't shoot that. We don't have permanent Polaroid invincibility anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay, so we became Guppy. We'll also pick up Rage in the process. So I think that was kind of a cool turn of events there. Considering we're probably going to get like one more item for the rest of the game, I'm just going to take Book of Belial because I think this is a little bit more interesting, and we'll head down to the next floor. So that was a weird deal with the devil, but I think it turned out very nice for us. With our 1-up, I don't think we have anything to worry about, even though we gave up a lot of HP. And our damage should pretty much be insane right now. I should be using Book of Belial probably a little bit more often, but that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. Well, this has been a kind of a nice casual Canadian Thanksgiving-y run here. I'm happy that the situation has turned out as well as it has. It could have gone a lot worse. We'll do a random run next, and, you know, probably at least for the next few episodes as I sit here and record today, get used to this new mic quality. So I would appreciate feedback on the mic quality issue, because if it sounds better, in particular, if it sounds really bad, I'll notice it, hopefully, and I'll be able to change something. But if it sounds great, let me know that equally as well, because, you know, the microphone that Kate has is very, well, relatively inexpensive for, you know, professional standards at least, so I could easily get one of these for myself, but the problem might be that, you know, it's a different room as well, but I would definitely consider it. No question about it. It's a nice microphone, too. It's for people that are going to ask, because, you know, this is a question that comes up a lot. You know, what microphone do you use? What microphone does Kate use? This is a Blue Nessie. It's one of the Blue series of microphones. I think it's one of the more recent ones that's come out. It's about $100 Canadian, which means it's probably still like $100 American. Let's go down to Shoal here. It's got a stand, and, you know, like, you don't need a standalone mic arm or anything like that for it. It's got, like, the problem with a lot of microphones that have built-in stands is that they pick up keyboard noise, but this one's, like, sturdy, man. I'm banging on the keys here, and you shouldn't be hearing any kind of riffraff coming through. Maybe you can hear the clicking of the keys, at least, which I think is sensible. You know, my setup, I have, like, a mic arm that comes out from the desk, so it doesn't pick up keyboard noise that much unless you're really, you know, smacking them around. It's a good mic. I would definitely recommend it. Previously, I used to recommend for, like, beginner Let's Players, there's this, like, USB Logitech desktop microphone, and I used that for, like, the first 400 videos or something that I did, and it's fine, but I think, you know, the standards for audio quality have kind of gone up a lot, you know, even amateurs, like even total beginners are using like blue microphones that cost like $100, and they sound a lot better than that Logitech USB desktop mic, which is a good starter microphone because it's like $20, and it's also like the sound quality is solid. But anyway, yeah, I would recommend this one for sure. Now, hopefully we can just finish this off pretty soon. Like, this is pretty close to a one run. If it's not guaranteed, it's very, very close. It's largely dependent just on the rooms that we end up coming to as we get ready to head down a shoal. Of course, the run, like the first run in a year or two, where I end up using the Steam version of The Binding of Isaac, we pick up the tick by accident out of a totally random, you know, silver chest, and it ends up replacing the Polaroid. Shit happens. I just, you know, it's funny, isn't it? If it happened on the last Isaac run I did in Spider Mod, we might have stuck with it, but we could have also just as easily been like, alright, you know what, we're gonna give ourselves Mom's Purse and give ourselves the Polaroid, which I did once and people got furious about it, but I think, you know, that's just a certain percentage of people who really value that Isaac integrity for one reason or another. I'm not trying to say I'd like to play an integrity, or a game that's devoid of integrity, I'm just saying I don't think it makes a big deal. Most of the time, I would rather, you know, if I pick up the tick by accident, which they're changing in Rebirth anyway, but if I pick up the tick by accident, I'd still rather try out a good run to see if it has the chops necessary to make it through the chest, right? You know, I find that more interesting than just, oh, well, I got the tick, let's steamroll shoal in 2 seconds here. Which is kind of what's happening here. I'll never know if we would have been able to beat the chest in the cathedral. I'm optimistic, though. It's easy to be optimistic when you don't actually have to do it, but, you know, between our items here, I think we would have had a great chance. Keep in mind, I would have totally stuck with the D6, so we would miss out a little bit on that, but long-term we might stand to gain. Anyway, this is our Satan fight here. We have Mr. Mega, so we'll put our bomb down. That seems to have worked out pretty fantastically. And second form of Satan should be pretty easy because we can generate a crap ton of flies. Poison damage is nice as well. It's really the third phase of Satan that gives you trouble. Yeah, this is going to be over before it even begins, really. Alright, so mostly just watch out for the flies, but at the same time, I would start planning the victory parade here. This one is pretty over. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.